Hey guys, welcome to WhiskyWise with me, Jason, bringing you whiskey review number 23, where we're going to review the Talisker Dark Storm. So I'm going to get around to doing this review. I was going to pour myself a dram, but then I was like, I've already poured myself. This is like take 5. My camera's been playing up a little, so I've had to pretty much do this take quite a few times. So anyway, let's get down to the review style structure. But I'm going to post screenshots of this also on my blog. So if you don't follow me on my blog, check the description down below, and I'll post the write-ups before the videos should go live. So anyway, the Talisker Dark Storm, it is a non-age stated whiskey in my review style structure. Age-wise, non-age stated, can be anywhere from 3 years upwards, and I could think they could possibly even use maybe 20, 30-year-old whiskey. I think maybe there could be a bit of 18 in this whiskey, but that is my opinion. So ABV-wise, it is bottled at 45.8% ABV. Pretty much a standard across all Taliskers, but except for the 57 North, because that is higher at 57% ABV. But anyway, the cask selection they do use in this one, and it specifies that quite distinctly over here, is charred casks, or charred oak casks, yeah. So they use charred oak casks in this whiskey. Some places state it's heavily charred oak cask, but there is no background sort of solid information. So I'm going to go with what it says on the bottle, which is charred casks. So in terms of the actual distillery, it's the Talisker distillery, and the parent company for them is Diageo. And I think this is the first Diageo whiskey I'm reviewing. So that would be a first. But anyway, and it's also the first Talisker as well. So anyway, the region it's actually based is here in the islands in Scotland, and the island specifically is the Isle of Skye. So if you haven't been there, by all means, feel free to check it out. I believe there's a new distillery coming up somewhere near that region. But in terms of price and how much I paid for this whiskey, I paid, I think it was £49, and it is a 1 litre bottle. So I paid £49 for a litre. You can see I drank a little bit. Just sort of worked my way through the whiskey, just sort of to develop and understand the palate a little bit more. And in terms of exclusivity, yes, this is a travel exclusive whiskey, only available at pretty much travel ports, so airports, when you're traveling by boat. If you're traveling even by train, this should be one of the whiskeys should be available. It has been seen online at Amazon, Master Malt, Whiskey Exchange, but it's pretty much sold out. They only got 1 or 2 bottles, and that was because people sold it to them. So, in terms of colouring, this whiskey does look a little bit darker. You can probably see, I'll change it to the side of it. It does look quite dark. Doesn't specify on the bottle if it does have colouring or not. So, I'm going to go with unsure, but I'll write on my blog if it does or not, because there is lots of places online that says it does. Some say it doesn't. So it's a 50-50 bag at the moment. So let's get into assessing the whiskey now. So if I look at the colour of this whiskey, and if you just look at it from the bottle as well, from a side point of view, very dark, very sort of rich. And if they use charred oak cask, you can sort of understand why they'd get such a sort of really heavy colour to the whiskey. In terms of the colour, I'm going to go with more like a coppery, because it does have sort of like a reddy hue to it. If you look at that bottle, sort of, I'd say more towards a dark, very rich amber, sort of with like a burnt oak actually. Burnt oak's what I'm going to go with. Burnt oak with red hues. That's what I'm going to go with as my final on the colour. So let's get into the nose of the whiskey. So off the first nosing of this whiskey, I'm getting quite a very distinctive body of smoke. It's not peat, it's more like that clean sort of smoke I'm getting straight away, and it's very dominant on the palate. Then next I'm getting a very sort of mixes very well. It's like a sea breeze, like if you're walking alongside sort of the beach, you're getting like that salty sea breeze that sort of just goes into your face. But it's not too overpowering. Some whiskeys sort of have it very powerful. This one's sort of on that medium sort of length. So I'm gonna have a second nose, see what else I can pick up. So off the second nose, I'm still picking out that smoke, the salty sea breeze. I'm also picking out a slight spice behind it. This is quite interesting because it's like black pepper, a little bit of clove, and a slight bit of nutmeg. It's very distinctive because it's like opening a spice box and getting those different smells from each little bit. So quite interesting on the nose over there. You're getting quite a little bit of spice, you're getting this smoke, you're getting the sea breeze. So it's kind of like towards a classic Talisker, but the smoke is a little bit more, I don't know, it's like when you're burning something and you get that sort of black smoke, sort of towards that sort of style. So I'm going to get into the palate now and assess it on the palate. So on the palate, straight away through the middle of the palate, I'm actually picking out that very, very rich, big, burnt oak smoke that comes through. It's like we're literally burning logs of wood. When I was in America, we were burning that for being outside in the night. Very, very dominant smoke over there. It's not heavy as peat, but it's got its own unique style compared to the other Taliskers like the 10, the 57, the Distillers. Also picking a very peppery note, and it's very powerful in this one. I haven't added any water yet. I might add water in a little bit, but I want to like to do these reviews without water. Getting pepper. I'm picking out a little bit of what reminds me of honey glazed ham. When you put it in the oven with a honey coating, you pull it out and you've got that cracked sort of honey on the top, and when you bite it, it sort of melts in your mouth. Really mouth-watering a little bit. I'm getting kind of hungry with that actually. That would actually go with a really good pairing. I'm going to have a second sip and see what else there is now on the palate. So off the second sip, definitely picking out, it's like smoked meats. I'm getting a slight briny note as well, but then again, sort of like, I'd say more towards the iodine. Iodine, still the briny note is there. It's a bit salty in the middle. It's like you probably put too much of salt over the pork and boof and then came out. But it's like melting, feels like the meat's all melting in your mouth. I think that would make a really good, it's like barbecue sauce as well. I like barbecue sauce, so as soon as I taste that note, that's all like a trigger straight away. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you take barbecue sauce, you pour it in a pan, stick it on top of a fire, and just as it's simmering, and you sort of, it adds extra smoke to it. Really interesting on that palate. So anyway, let's get into the finish for this whiskey. So on the finish for this whiskey, definitely pick up those more to iodine notes. The body of smoke is still there. It's quite consistent throughout this whiskey. The black pepper as well, offering a little bit of heat, but not as overpowering on the finish. And it's quite, I'd say it's a lengthy finish on this one. It's got a long finish on this one. It's not overly long. I've tried quite a few other whiskies, which will come up in the other videos, but this one is not so very long in terms of finish. So, but that peppery note is still there, and you can feel it sort of hitting the back and the side of the taste buds at the same time, and it sort of changes to the middle of the taste buds. So that's kind of an interesting aspect. So I want to give the actual whiskey a rating. I'm going to go with an 84. Now, the reason behind this rating, 84 out of 100, is because I feel this whiskey offers itself in terms of a very unique style for Talisker, especially as a travel exclusive. In terms of value for money, I think it's fantastic value for money, especially if I picked it up when I was going to, when I saw it at £39 for a litre. I would have picked it up irrespective, because that's very good value, especially for a Talisker. The flavour profile with the sort of barbecue sort of sauce and the smoked meats, it's very, very good. And I could go into a cooking masterclass, so to speak, but I don't think that would be good for a whiskey channel. Unless you guys would like to see that, let me know down below. But you can definitely tell the youth in this whiskey with the smoke profile. I've got a little bit left over here. I'm going to try that just in a second, finish that off. But you can definitely tell the youth in the smoke, because it's quite powerful, quite bold in character, and it has its own length to it, so to speak. In terms of adding water, I've tried adding water previously when I was testing this, when I first tried it. All it does is reduce that peppery note. So if you don't like the peppery note, you can reduce it. But as this review is based on it being neat, I gave it the 84 because I feel that sort of just takes it down. On the palate, it is a little bit dominant. The spices are dominant more with the smoke, so it does sort of hide away a little bit more of something that's for pretty much everyone. So if you're not a smoky whiskey drinker, you might not find that so palatable. But let me know what you guys think. If you are traveling for an airport, let me know down below in the description if you have tried this whiskey, if you do own it, by all means feel free to let me know what you think down below in the comment section, or check out my blog, and I'll leave that actually down here. I'll leave a subscribe button over there and also some other videos over here, and I think I should wrap up the video on that. So 84 out of 100 is my overall review for the Talisker Dark Storm. I'm going to try out the 10, the Distiller's Edition, and the 57 North in upcoming videos, so be sure to check that out as well, as I'm going to probably upload those hopefully before we get to upload to episode 50. But anyway, this has been Jason from WhiskyWise. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to drop in a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all for the next video.